Welcome to the Africa Briefing Room. Today, we're bringing you a story that unfolded quietly on the continent and one that very few people are discussing. It's a development with profound implications for Africa's cultural and political future. Before we begin, a quick note: this is an editorial commentary. What you're about to hear is based on our analysis, interpretation, and opinion, shaped by research and observation, but ultimately, our informed perspective on what's happening. Now, let's talk about a takeover that isn't marked by armies or flags, but by satellites, studios, and the stories on your screen. For generations, France's influence in Africa was maintained through politics, currency, and military bases. But in the 21st century, the most powerful tool of control isn't a weapon or a policy, it's the screen in your living room. A quiet conquest has taken place, not for land, but for Africa's narrative. Paris has always loved to write Africa's script. For decades, the term France-Afrique described the intricate web of ties binding France and its former African colonies. This was a system rooted in post-colonial power alliances, economic deals, and a guiding hand over African affairs. But empires adapt, and so do those who run them. This was Playbook 1.0. Today, new players, same playbook. Enter Vincent Bolloré, shipping baron, infrastructure tycoon, and a man whose business tentacles touched Africa's ports, railways, timber, and beyond. Bolloré is no ordinary businessman. He is one of France's most formidable tycoons, with a vast empire that began in shipping and logistics. His family-controlled group, the Bolloré Group, spent years quietly acquiring Africa's ports and transport corridors, a physical network stretching from Ivory Coast to Cameroon and beyond. His group's control over key ports like Abidjan in Ivory Coast and Douala in Cameroon has been the subject of intense political and legal battles, demonstrating a willingness to wield immense power to secure strategic assets. His path to media dominance starts with Vivendi, the global media and content giant. Bolloré, through relentless boardroom maneuvering and stock acquisition, took control of Vivendi in the 2010s. Vivendi in turn owns Canal+, France's biggest pay TV broadcaster. Canal+ isn't just a channel, it's a sprawling network of satellite dishes and streaming platforms, beamed into homes across Europe and deep into Africa. So, in summary, Canal+ isn't just Bolloré's bridge from Paris to Africa. It's the vehicle for the colonial playbook 2.0, marking a shift from ports and pipelines to airwaves and algorithms. Today, instead of controlling what moves through shipping corridors, Bolloré sets the agenda for what stories, news, and cultural currents circulate across the continent's screens. The strategy is the same, only the assets have changed. Control the infrastructure, and you control the continent. Today, the most critical infrastructure is the media. For years, Canal+ has quietly been weaving itself into the fabric of Africa's media landscape. The Paris-based broadcaster had established itself as a household name in more than 20 francophone African countries, operating satellite and pay TV services under the Canal+ Africa brand. But Canal+ did not stop there. In 2019, it made a decisive move by acquiring Nigeria's Rock Studios, one of the powerhouses of Nollywood, the world's second-largest film industry. This acquisition didn't just expand Canal+ catalog with a trove of Nigerian films and series. It placed the company at the pulse of West Africa's biggest cultural exporter. By 2023, Canal+ had expanded its presence in Francophone Africa by acquiring a significant stake in Marodi TV, which is one of Senegal's leading drama production companies. Marodi TV, while continuing to operate under local leadership, entered a strategic partnership that increased Canal+'s access to original Senegalese content. In addition to this stake, Canal+ pursued numerous other expansion efforts in the region, including licensing agreements, joint production, and broadcast collaborations with local media companies across multiple countries. These business moves enabled Canal+ to broaden its catalog of African programming and strengthen its distribution network throughout Francophone West Africa. Then, in July 2025, Canal+ made its most audacious move yet. Having navigated a labyrinth of regulatory and political hurdles, the company completed its full acquisition of South Africa's MultiChoice group, the titan behind DStv and GoTV. Overnight, Canal+ transformed from a powerful regional player into an unrivaled continental giant. MultiChoice brought with it over 22 million households across more than 50 countries, along with premier sports broadcasting rights including exclusive sub-Saharan African coverage of the English Premier League, and a vast library spanning African family, international, and original content. By holding exclusive rights to European football, Africa's most watched sport, Canal Plus controls the continent's biggest draw for viewers, turning a shared passion into a powerful engine for subscriptions and influence. This wasn't just another corporate deal. It was the largest media takeover in African history, consolidating control of broadcast, production, and distribution under one roof in Paris. Before July 2025, Canal Plus was already a dominant force, through Canal Plus Afrique, Rock Studios, and a significant stake in Marodi TV. But with the MultiChoice acquisition, it became the primary gatekeeper of Africa's airwaves and stories, cementing France's cultural and economic influence across the continent. Let's be clear, this is not just about business. This is soft power deployed at scale. Control the platforms, and you export not just entertainment, but attitudes and assumptions. With every acquisition, Canal Plus isn't just building a catalog, it's amplifying the French voice, the French worldview. But the spell is showing cracks. In 2022, Mali's military government permanently suspended both France 24 and RFE, banning their broadcasts and even prohibiting local media from sharing their content. Niger followed suit in 2023, a clear sign of just how political media influence has become in the region. For Paris, media control now serves as a strategic asset, especially as anti-French sentiment rises across the Sahel. While official political influence is being pushed back, Canal Plus offers France a potent, non-governmental avenue to project partnership and cultural affinity, shaping public perception even as its political standing is challenged. Economically, the imbalance is stark. Every subscription, ad dollar, and license fee flows north. African money, talent, and stories systematically funneled back to headquarters in Paris. What remains is a dependency, a continent brimming with stories, yet positioned as a supplier for someone else's platforms and priorities. What makes this so insidious is the Parisian filter. Content critical of France's role in Africa, too risky for prime time. Stories that don't fit European commercial formulas, unlikely to get funded. The result? A media landscape curated for foreign sensibility, not African realities. When a single company headquartered thousands of kilometers away holds the keys to what is seen and heard in millions of African homes, the first casualties are often the stories that don't fit its agenda. Critical documentaries, investigative journalism, and programs that scrutinize foreign influence or confront uncomfortable truths are the first to disappear. With editorial decisions shaped in Paris boardrooms, strong voices, especially those challenging entrenched political or economic interests, struggle to find a platform. This dynamic traps an entire creative class. Writers, filmmakers, and producers may see their projects approved only if they appeal to a universal commercial audience, often defined by European tastes. Dialects are softened, cultures are blended, and sharp political edges are dulled for export. Over time, narratives grow uniform, drifting toward what sells internationally rather than what matters locally. The result is an erosion of local identity. Instead of dozens of languages, unique quirks, and fearless debates, audiences encounter a polished but homogenized Pan-African blend, content that feels less rooted in real places and more attuned to distant preferences. As stories are edited for marketability, the richness of local joy, struggle, humor, and resistance fades from the screen. The most insidious element is what goes unsaid. When Parisian executives are the ultimate gatekeepers, crucial questions about foreign corporate extraction, complex histories, or contested political realities often never make it to air. Would a hard-hitting documentary on the history and economic impact of France's CFA franc ever be funded and promoted by a French-owned platform? The silence answers itself. So, what do? Reclaim the narrative, and that means controlling it. True independence isn't only about politics or borders, it's about deciding which stories are told, how they're told, and who gets to tell them. For Africa, the fight for cultural sovereignty is as vital as the battles for minerals or land. The right to speak for ourselves, in our languages, on our terms, is the heart of real freedom. Without it, we become actors in someone else's script. This isn't only about representation. It demands ownership, investment, and policies that put power back in African hands. Governors and regional bodies must set firm boundaries, limit foreign control in media spaces, nurture local investment, and support homegrown platforms. These aren't minor details. They are the fault lines of 21st century decolonization. But it's not a fight for policymakers alone. Every viewer and every listener has a role. Each conscious choice to watch an independent station, subscribe to a locally owned platform, or champion African filmmakers is a political act, no matter how small it seems. Platforms like Nigeria's Iroko TV, built from the ground up for African audiences, show what true media independence can look like. Supporting them isn't just entertainment, it funds an ecosystem. What's at stake is more than who makes the content. It's whose worldview is reflected, whose questions are asked, and whose future is imagined. So, let's call this what it is. This isn't just global media consolidation. It's a modern echo of colonialism. Following a familiar blueprint, step in, take control of the channels that shape narratives, and ensure the dominant voice reflects outside interests rather than local realities. France's presence in Africa has evolved, from colonial governors to corporate boardrooms, and now onto the screens of your TV and phone. The recent full acquisition of MultiChoice by Canal gives France unprecedented influence over both Francophone and Anglophone Africa's largest media platforms. Through Canal+, French ownership stretches across the continent's primary broadcast and satellite pay TV services, DSTV, GoTV, Showmax, reaching over 22 million households in more than 50 countries. The objective couldn't be clearer: make French-owned platforms the default for African entertainment, news, and sport, and in doing so, channel profit and influence back to Paris, where decisions about Africa's stories and signals are set. This is the next battlefield for Africa's independence, the struggle to own and protect our media. Control of our own narrative isn't just worth fighting for, it's a battle we cannot afford to lose.